All right, y'all, 4:30 on the dot. I'm gonna go ahead and get this class going. Welcome everybody to the first Abs and Core live session of this week. My name is Coach Luis, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. All right, so what we're going to be doing today, you guys, pretty similar kind of EMOM style that we're used to, except we're going to be throwing something a little bit more advanced in there, and I'll get to that in a moment. Building on some stuff that we've been doing in the past in my classes, in Jazzy's classes, some rotations, some single arm shoulder strength, which I'm super excited for. But let me go ahead and just dive into exactly what we're doing. So first of all, workout structure today, EMOM style, we got about 6 different intervals per round, going for 3 rounds, giving us about 18 minutes of work. Now, the entirety of our session, we're going to be working 45 seconds of work per minute and then 15 seconds to rest and transition. So pretty simple structure. Nothing's really going to change between rounds 1, round 2, and round 3. So what we're going to get into as far as the movements go, we're going to start on the ground. We're going to be doing a lot of ground-based stuff here today, you guys, and we're not going to need any kind of special equipment. So just some space on the ground to work. We want to have the water bottle close by just to stay hydrated. What we're going to start with is heel taps. So if you guys have been in this class before, you've probably done these in our warm-ups. I love these a lot. Great for spine rehab, great for kind of in any anti-extension spine work that we're going to do with the core. So all this one involves is the knees being bent at about 90 degrees. We're going to lock them in that position. And then it's just one at a time, the hips moving just to kiss that heel to the ground, then bring it back up. One hip is going to move at a time. The other one's not going to go until that first one is back up into the starting position. And it's our core keeping minimal space or no space essentially between our back and the ground here. If you feel that back coming up, take a break, rest those legs, big exhale. We'll find those core muscles again and glue that back to the ground. All right, so for our kind of special build on movement today, what we're going to be doing is a single arm plank rotation. Now, usually what we'll do is we'll alternate from side to side and we'll rotate and look up at the ceiling. But what we're going to do here today, you guys, is get a nice wide stance with those feet. We're going to shift all our weight into one arm. We're going to start looking at the ground here, trying to keep our shoulders and our hips square to the ground. So my core is really tight here. I'm going to open up to the ceiling, look up to the ceiling for a second or two, and then try and rotate my shoulders to be back to square to the ground. So this is, you're going to feel obviously this a lot in that shoulder. We want to make sure our armpits are engaged, keeping the shoulder away from the ears. So I'll show you guys one more time. The wide feet are really going to help. So don't go into this with the narrow feet. That's going to be extremely challenging. We're going to open up towards the ceiling, spend a second or two in this position, keeping the core really tight, rotating back towards the ground, trying to stay on that one arm. Now, if you guys need to come rotate back to the ground, hold it, and then put some weight down through that other arm, that is my recommendation for making it a little bit easier. And then we'll just still focus on that one side. We're going to do one side at a time here. So we're going to start with that right arm. Then we're going to go into the left on that next interval. Now, do whatever you guys need to do to modify or make it a little bit easier. Like I said, as we come square back to the ground, putting that other arm down is the way that I kind of learned and progressed with this one. So that's what I recommend. In the following interval, we're going to be doing the left side. So again, 45 seconds for each side here, going to be really challenging for that shoulder, for our core as we rotate. Next up, we're going to take it back to the ground with our backs on the ground. We're essentially going to stay backs on the ground for the rest of each round. So next thing is our crunches. You guys kind of know the drill with this one. We're keeping the feet planted, just peeling as much upper back as we can, using all these muscles up front. After that, we're going to be doing a dead bug variation. Now, this is a little bit different than normal. What we're going to be doing is the same side version. So what we're used to, guys, is that opposite arm, opposite leg moving, extending away from the body, and then bringing it back into the middle. So today, what we're going to do, I might confuse you guys a little bit. We're going to do same side. So now my right arm, my right leg are going to go out and away from each other at the same time. The core is going to really have to work hard to not roll side to side because we got one side really lengthened out here, keeping that core tight, keeping the back on the ground. We're going to bring that right arm and right leg back in. I know I might mess up with the right and the left as we go, but just know today that it is same side. So focus on that same side going away from each other, staying nice and square to the ceiling. using the core to keep the entire back on the ground, especially that low back. So that's what we're gonna do, alternate side to side. Finally, we're gonna stay on our backs, and it's the alternating leg lowering. So we're gonna start with those legs high in the air. Knees can be a little bit bent here. We're gonna take one leg all the way down as far as we can go while using that core to keep our back on the ground. If you get down here and you feel it all start to collapse and those ribs come up, next time take it a little bit higher. We wanna be able to control this adequately, make it challenging enough, but also make it sustainable so we can at least string together a few quality reps and then rest if we need to. So the goal here is to keep those legs up the whole time, use that core to glue the back to the ground, and we'll alternate with those legs. So that is our workout here today, you guys. A little bit of a twist, a little bit of a challenge. Let's go ahead and get into our warm-up. Make sure you guys got your space set up, and then we'll get into this workout and we'll get out of here. So with our warm-up today, you guys, we're gonna start in hands and knees. We wanna warm those shoulders up and that pretty much that whole body up. You guys probably know what's coming. It's that primal press. So basically a hands and knees position. You guys can be on the hands or the knuckles. I'm on the knuckles because my wrist is bothering me a little bit here today. We're gonna push or curl those toes up under the feet, push down through those toes, bring those knees an inch or two up off the ground, shoulders away from the ears. We're feeling the nice tightness through the core, our backs are nice and flat. We're also feeling those quads turn on a little bit here. Just take a couple breaths, squeeze through those armpits, make sure those shoulders are far away from the ears. One more breath. Good, and let those knees back down. Good job, you guys. Way to breathe through that. Remember, breathing through this core tightness, really, really important. We don't want to be holding our breath as we go here. All right, let's flip onto our backs. Couple heel taps just to get it warmed up. So we go right into our first interval, knowing exactly how to feel. Core tight, no space in between our back and the ground. I'm gonna let the heel come down, just kiss the ground. Don't spend more than a millisecond with that heel on the ground. The moment you rest that heel on the ground, dead weight, it's gonna be a lot harder for our core and our hips to pull that leg back up. Good, big exhales here, big breathing. One more each side. Last one here. Nicely done, everybody, nicely done. Okay, rest those legs. Take a sip of water if you need to. We got all our space set up. I'm just gonna set the timer up here and then we're gonna get right into it. All right, y'all. So as always, at any point, if you guys are feeling the form breakdown or you just feel like you need some water, even if we're right in the middle of an interval, take a few moments to yourself, breathe, give yourselves a little bit of rest, and then we're jumping right back into it after a couple of breaths. All right, 18 minutes on the clock. We're starting with those heel taps. Remember, 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest throughout. Here we go. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. All right, we are on the clock. So same thing as the warm up. It's just our heel taps. They do not have to be at any particular quicker speed than the warm ups. It's just one hip moving at a time. So as my left goes down, the right is staying stationary. My strong exhales are gonna help me maintain that posture here through the midsection. Remember, someone has got a hand towel under your low back. They're trying to pull it out. Don't let them get that towel. Got about 10 seconds left. Good job, y'all. Good job. This one is definitely tough. Almost done. And time. Nicely done. Okay. All right. First interval of our first round is done. We got our single arm plank thing coming up. So it's going to be the right arm planted, right hand planted first, nice and wide with these feet. Let's get into it. Find a stable position. Try and shift that weight into that right arm. We're going to rotate, look up at the ceiling, hang out so core is really tight as we rotate back down. Try and stay square. Put that hand down if you need to support. We're going to try and do the same thing. Stand on this right side. Definitely a tough one here, you guys. If it's only a couple reps at a time, that's totally fine. Make them as quality as possible. As you guys can see, I'm still not gonna rep the whole interval out. Give yourselves a little bit of a break here and there. And we're gonna try and find that nice square position again to the ground, being supported by just one arm. Good job, y'all. Good job. And time. All right. Left arm coming up. So we're going to do the same thing. Left side, make sure you're squeezing through those armpits so our shoulders don't end up shrugging up near the ears as we try and rotate on the rib cage. All right, here we go. Left side, feet nice and wide. Can find our plank. Rotate, look up at the ceiling, big reach. Keeping that core tight. Remember, hips with those headlights, we're blinding the ground. Turn and reach again. Good job, y'all. Coming nice and square to the ground. Good job, you guys. Use that other arm for support if necessary. Or remember, we're trying to keep it to almost just one arm. Man, this is tough. Good job, you guys. Good job. All right, a few seconds left. We're almost done. Let's try and get one more in, and time. All right, y'all. Good job. Good job. Okay. Up next, it's our crunches. We're basically going to be lying down on our backs for the rest of this round. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go with those tricky crunches. Trying to keep the feet down, not throwing the arms forward to get ourselves up. Simply just using those tummy muscles right here. Trying to shorten them enough just to peel whatever we can of our upper back up off the ground. A few quality reps at a time. Nicely done, you guys, nicely done. Almost done with this interval here. And that's time. Good job, everybody. Okay, on our backs, we're resting. Grab water if you need to. Sit up for that if possible. Next up, we got that dead bugger. Remember, it's just right arm and right leg going at the same time. Then left arm and left leg. Might be a challenge for our brains. Let's go ahead and get into it here. First, just find that starting position. Glue that lower back to the ground. Then when you're ready to move, right arm, right leg. Control it on the way out. Control it on the way in. I know it's a challenge and a change from what we've been doing, but let your core feel that change. Feel what it needs to do to keep us nice and balanced. As we lengthen out one side, we might be feeling those obliques a little bit too. Good job, y'all. Good job. I'm already feeling this burn. There we go, and time. Nicely done, everyone. Take a nice deep breath. It's our alternating leg lowering up next. We're trying to get those legs as high in the air as we can. Bent knee are okay as we come down, straighten those legs out. Here we go. No space between that low back and the ground. Exhales as we come back up. Good. Good job, you guys. Good job. I know this is tough. Got about almost 10 more seconds left. You guys take little breaks if you need to. Just don't let that form break down. I know it's going to burn. I know our bodies are going to want to take that easy way out, but it's quality or nothing here. One last rep. And time. There we go. Good job, you guys. More round one in the books. We got round two coming up next, and we can stay on our backs because it is heel taps up next. All right, let's get that going here in 3, 2, 1. All right, similar concept, low back on the ground. Just moving from the hips here. Letting one heel at a time kiss the ground. You really want to feel that lower abdomen engage as well. Think about a belt of muscle right above your actual waistline or belt line. Man, I'm starting to get a serious burn in. Keep going, you guys. About 10 more seconds. Way to work. Couple breaths and we're right back into it. and time. There we go. We're gonna work through the end there. Okay, it's our hard planks coming up next here. Make sure we plant that hand right under where your shoulder is at. We're going in 3, 2, 1. All right, we get into our high plank, both hands. We try and support it with one. We're gonna rotate, open up towards the ceiling. We're gonna try and rotate back down. Lock that in for a sec. Rotate again. Good job, y'all. Let's try and do 1 or 2. They are definitely tough. Good job, y'all. Good job. Take little breaks as needed. If 1 is only the number today, that is okay. You're gonna take a little rest, try and replicate that 1 good rep over and over with the time that we got, which is about 10 more seconds. So let's try and make it work. Rotate, blind the ground with those headlights, and time. Good job, y'all. Good job. That one is challenging. Okay, we got the left side coming up next. Let's plant that left hand where it needs to be. We're gonna get started here in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Wide stance of those feet, shoulder in our back pockets. We're gonna rotate, reach, and core super tight as we rotate back to the ground. Trying to stay nice and square. Use all the muscles around that shoulder. Definitely tough here. Do the best you can, 1 rep at a time. Use that other arm for support as well. Good. Almost done, you guys, about 10 more seconds. I know we're really feeling that in one side of the body. Do the best you can. While breathing through it, we don't need to hold our breaths here. All right, guys, that is time. Let's find our spot on the back. We got crunches coming up next. Good job, y'all. 3, 2, 1. Second round of crunches. Here we go. So plant those feet. Those feet aren't leaving the ground. All just comes from the midsection here. I like to think of taking a deep breath and crushing something under my lower back. Even if I'm not coming up that far, it's the activation that really counts. And the more we work on it, the higher that we're eventually going to be able to get ourselves and the more control we're going to have. Good job, y'all. 10 more seconds. Here we go. Do the best you can. I'm struggling with these here today. And time. All right, guys. Time to rest. Up next is our same side dead bug, or even more confusing somehow, dead bug. Let's take a deep breath. We're going in 3, 2, 1. All right, legs up, arms up. Let's find out a good starting position first before we move. Once you're there, once that back is glued, we're extending that right arm and that right leg away from each other. Forcing that core to really close it down on one side and control it lengthening on the other. Nicely done, everybody. Nicely done. Take it nice and slow. I'd rather get very few quality reps as long as we can really feel that tension, feel that strain on each side of the core. Well done here. We got about 5 more seconds. Let's make it count with a good rep. And that's time. Nicely done, everybody. Nicely done. I'm loving the way that is making my body feel. Okay. Next up, it's our alternating leg lowering. This is the last thing of round 2. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. All right. So legs are up. We're getting them up and as straight as we can. One leg coming down nice and straight. And we're bringing it back up. Never letting that low back leave the ground. Even if we're not taking those legs too low, that's okay. I'd rather us control a smaller range at first and really be pulling ourselves out of position with a larger range when we're starting out getting good at this stuff. Good job, y'all. Good job. About 10 more seconds left. I remember when I first started this, couldn't even, first of all, get my legs up to the starting position. And then it took a while to get to this point, but that is time. Good job, you guys. Rest those legs. We're staying here on our back. It's the heel taps coming up next, and that is the start of our third and final round. Big deep breaths. Grab some water. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Here we are. All right. Low back glued to the ground. It's just one heel at a time, kissing the ground. Similar movement to what we were just doing. Shorter lever or bent at the knee, but still stressful on that hip. Still really easy to get pulled out of position as the core works these hips. Excellent job, you guys. Really tightening as it goes down. Great work, everybody. Great work. About 15 seconds left. Take breaks as needed. We still are going to make one final push here in this interval. If we can, got about 5 more seconds. Let's get a couple more reps in. And that's time. All right, guys, that is it. That's curtains for the heel taps. Let's find our high plank position. We're rotating about that right shoulder here to start. 3, 2, 1. All right, here we go. So find that nice high plank position. Feet are spread apart. Gonna plant. Try and come back down. And remember, if it's only one rep at a time, that we can kind of turn and pause in that position just for a moment, that is okay. For me, I'm kind of feeling the right wrist is not too happy with it here today. I can probably get away with one rep at a time. This is something that we're going to start working on and getting better at. 15 seconds left. Do what you can. Support when needed. Good. There we go. You guys are getting it. Almost done here. Good. One last rep. And that's time. Good job, you guys. Way to try something new here today. All right. Other side coming up here. It's the left side. We're going to go ahead and get that started here in 3, 2, 1. Left hand planted under that left shoulder. The feet are wide. Core is tight. We're going to rotate up, reach. Then we're going to come back down, keeping that shoulder away from the ear, blinding the ground with our headlights on those hips. Good. Well done, everybody. Couple reps at a time. Try and get all the way square to that ground before you come in with that support hand. Good work, good work. All right, about 10 seconds left. Everyone's killing it. Great effort so far. Use that support hand. And that's time. Okay, no more special fancy planks with rotation here today. Let's just kill the rest of this workout. We're going to be on our backs, and everyone here knows that the key to success is just using that core to keep our back glued to the ground. So let's get going with our crunches. The feet are planted. Just trying to crush something under that low back. Just peeling as much upper back up as we can. Good job, everybody. Big squeeze in that stomach area. Good job. 15 seconds left. Last rep here, guys, and time. Nicely done. Okay, it's our fancy dead bug up next with the same side, legs and arms. Let's just relax here on the ground. Feel free to get up, grab that water, even take a walk around the room if you need it. We're gonna go ahead and get going with this second to last interval. Here we go with that dead bug. Arms and legs up first. We find that starting position, and then we can begin to find that same side. Arm and leg going all the way out. Us using our core to keep our entire back glued. Excellent, you guys. Take it nice and slow. Be meticulous. I know it's tough when we're tired. I know it's tough when we're burning. We got less than 10 seconds left here on the clock for this interval. Let's see if we can work through it. Keep that pace slow, even slow it down a little bit if you'd like. And time. Nicely done. Okay, we can rest those legs, rest those arms. Up next, it's our leg lowering. That's the final thing that we're going to be doing today in this workout. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Find that good starting position by getting those legs up, low back glued, letting one leg come down at a time. Big exhale will help us bring it back up. Good job, y'all. Good job. I know our quads and hip flexors are also working a lot here. Use that core, make it easy on them. Keep that spine in check here. Everyone's killing it. We got about 15 seconds left. Let's see if we can work all the way through. I know that means pushing through a mental block maybe a little bit. It's only 5 more seconds. And last rep. Time. There we go. Good job, everybody. Good job. Lay there and rest for a moment if you'd like. All right. So the timer is off. Our workout is done. It's in the books. All we got to do now is cool it down. So let's find in our space a nice little half kneeling position. I want to start off with the hip flexor because we are fresh out of using our hips a lot during that workout, especially in the front. Excuse me. So let's find a position where we got the left knee down on the ground. The right leg is out in front to support. We're going to squeeze that back glute. It's going to help us tilt the pelvis back. From here, pulling the belly button in towards the spine a little bit will also help us. And then we're going to push those hips forward, trying to find some tension in the front of those hips so we can stretch it out. So keep that glute squeeze back there. That's what's going to help us keep the tension up front. And let's breathe and calm it down. As we breathe here, you guys, I'll let you guys know about, the big event for us here at Exos this week is going to be that 9/11 stair climb. So definitely close things to both Jazzy and I's heart. We want to make sure that you guys are aware that we're donating to the National Fallen Firefighters Foundation, helping out families that have lost loved ones in the line of duty, especially families that lost loved ones on 9/11 20 years ago. So let's take a moment. We're going to shift our weight back. We'll switch it over. Same thing on the other side here. So what this event really is here, you guys, is what we're going to do is a little bit of physical activity just to honor those who are fallen. That includes climbing 110 flights of stairs, which is about 1,300 feet in elevation. You can also run or walk 9.11K. And then finally, you could also bike 9.11 miles. And I'm going to be doing that one. Last year, I did about 8 solid minutes of burpees. I highly do not recommend that. It was extremely painful at the end. So definitely go with one of those first 3 if you're going to do some activity with us. But also, please, if you have the space to donate a little bit, it really goes a long way, especially to this organization that we've done this for. This is our 2nd year running now. So more to come on that tomorrow. You guys will see probably a Slack post and our SharePoint posts about it as well this week. So we're going to be doing that all through the weekend, and we'll be posting those photos on Monday, as well as pushing the donation link throughout the week. So that's my little bit on the 9/11 stair climb. Let's slowly come out of that position. We got one more thing to do. I got 1 more minute left in this class. So we can find the ground, nice prone position. This is going to help us stretch out the spine and some of those core muscles. So if you guys are familiar with this one, it's the hands up near the head, or maybe up above the head a little bit, leaving the whole lower half static, nice and relaxed. We're going to push through those hands, come up into kind of a nice little light cobra here. If you can extend those elbows, great. If not, go ahead and just make sure that you're not pushing up super far so that the front of your hips come up off the ground. We want to leave the front of those hips on the ground. Take a deep breath, look straight if we can, really lengthen out that tissue in front. Feels good to take a nice deep breath into it. Let's do one more breath and we're coming down. Well done, you guys. Slowly lower yourselves down to the elbows. spend a second here on the ground just to make sure that everything comes back down into place. And then we can be all done. It is now 5 o'clock on the dot, so that's all the time I have left for this session. Good job today in class, you guys. I know threw some curveballs at you, but you guys did great. Hope everyone is feeling good. I will catch you guys in that next session and see you guys tomorrow. Good job, y'all.
Thanks, Luis.
See you, Darren. Good job.